Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and, let's be honest, a little complex. Weapon damage in Division 2. This is a video I've been really excited to make because I know it's something the community's been wanting. We've all been there, wondering how to push our damage numbers higher, but feeling overwhelmed by the sheer complexity of it all. So my goal here is to break it down, make it digestible, and give you a clearer understanding. Let's face it, the big question on everyone's mind is, how exactly does weapon damage work in this game? We'd love a magic formula, right? Unfortunately, Massive Entertainment hasn't given us the official recipe. That hasn't stopped dedicated players from putting on their thinking caps and experimenting thoroughly to reverse engineer the calculation. Despite their discoveries, these calculations involve complex terminology, rules, and concepts that are challenging for everyday players to understand. That's why I wanted to create a mental model. If I can help simplify the learning curve by doing that, it can act as a roadmap to make character growth a bit easier. This model isn't the exact damage formula, but it's a guide to help you think strategically about your character's growth and gear choices. Ready to explore this together? Okay, let's get started. Weapon damage is a topic that is often misunderstood in the game. Many players only chase after high crit stats and don't consider their foundational weapon damage. They'll tell others to put everything into crit damage as if that was the only play. I'd like to offer you a different viewpoint. Earlier in the build system series, in the module Critical Hit Chance and Critical Hit Damage, I discussed the fact that critical damage is a gamble based on probability. It's not a guarantee. Weapon damage, however, is always on. It's the foundation before any crits. Let me give you a visual of why a strong foundation of overall weapon damage is so important. Say your character's overall weapon damage is 40k, and you have a build that can deliver 200% critical hit damage. If you're lucky and score a crit, that hit would come to 120k. Here's another scenario. Instead of only relying on high crit stats, we strengthen your foundation. Let's say we brought that up to 80k. 80k with 100% crit damage would hit even harder at 160k. Can you see how having a stronger foundation, my crit damage stats may be a smaller number, but I get a bigger result? A broad weapon damage foundation is the backbone of all DPS builds. It sets you up for faster kills and tougher fights. Is this the right direction for you? If so, let's proceed on that journey together. In Division 2, every damage calculation has a starting point. It may be limited on its own, but the idea is to find ways to significantly increase and multiply power. The starting point is your weapon's base weapon damage. This is the raw inherent damage of the weapon, before any bonuses, increases, and multipliers have been applied. Let's quickly take a look at where this is found in the game's UI. In this example, we'll examine my primary weapon, a 70-round exotic assault rifle called the St. Elmo's Engine. To get a closer look at its base damage, we'll select it, and then we'll choose Options. Now, I'll toggle Show Base Damage to On. This will help me fundamentally see how hard each bullet hits. You'll see the base damage value displayed in white, 46.9k. Let's round that up to 47k for simplicity. This 47k represents the damage dealt by a single bullet from this weapon under absolutely neutral conditions. What that means is, no gear bonuses, no gear core attributes, no talents, no specialization buffs, absolutely nothing multiplying this damage. It's just the raw, unadulterated damage of the weapon itself. When you leveled up from level 0 to 39, new weapons provided higher base damage with each level. From level 40 on, this base value no longer levels up. To deal much more weapon damage than this base, we'll have to find ways to improve upon this foundation. If we can't, our weapon will struggle against the lethal enemies in Raids, Incursions, and heroic and legendary difficulty missions. Let's find out how we can include more weapon damage in this picture. Here, we are looking at the inventory view of my DPS build. As you can see, it has 6 red cores. They happen to be fully maxed out. I'm using a St. Elmo's engine as my primary weapon. To see how the game's UI represents my character's overall weapon damage, we'll come over to Stats. Here in the Stats view, we see it right here, weapon damage. This isn't the base weapon damage, it's a larger concept. You'll notice that this 121k value is much higher than the 47k base weapon damage of the St. Elmo I showed you just now. There's a bigger picture here, so let's unpack what's going on. As we highlight weapon damage, its breakdown appears to the right. The breakdown view contains everything contributing to this more considerable weapon damage value. We'll stay very high level to keep this simple. The first few items here are any gear your character wears that contributes weapon damage. My gear's 6 weapon damage cores each provides plus 15% weapon damage. Next, we have the primary weapon I'm currently holding. The St. Elmo's engine has been maxed out to contribute plus 15% assault rifle damage. A little farther down, we see talents. This EMI thing isn't the same as the talents you'd typically find on chest armor, backpacks, and weapons. Instead, it's a category the game refers to as passive talents. These are among the enhancements you can unlock in your specialization tree. I use assault rifles a lot. Each tier gives me 5% more damage. Tier 3 puts me at 15% more assault rifle damage. Make sure your tiers are filled. It's a bonus no agent should ignore. Then we have Keener's Watch, also known as the Shade Watch. This watch is awarded to you once you've reached level 40 and you've spoken with Coop Dennison, the quartermaster at the base of operations at the White House. It unlocks your character's continued progress and power beyond level 40. You can see I've unlocked all the possible weapon damage the watch provides. This 50 out of 50 here equals 10% extra weapon damage. Last but not least, there's something not displayed here, but it's part of your character's growth and makes a significant contribution. Can you take a guess what that is? To view it, we have to examine the weapon we currently have equipped. Let's come over to the inventory view and examine the St. Elmo. Here, you can see that this weapon has expertise. My expertise level is 28. This means the expertise is contributing plus 28% weapon damage. Pushing expertise that high requires investing a great deal of resources, but it's incredibly valuable to the overall damage picture. Before we wrap, doing a loadout assessment before engaging the enemy is always good. I've often seen people attempt high difficulty missions without checking their equipment. Be sure you're taking tactical advantage of every attribute and gear mod slot to help your character. We started with a base weapon damage of 47k. Because this is raw damage before any percentage increases from anything else, there's nothing to multiply growth. Multipliers are not applicable here. Then we have our gear, 6 core attributes, each providing maxed out plus 15% weapon damage. That comes to 90%. Also, the weapon's core attribute is maxed out to provide plus 15% assault rifle damage. Next, the specialization gives 3 tiers to my preferred weapons, bringing plus 15% assault rifle damage into the picture. A great bonus comes from the watch, where I maxed out weapon damage so it gives me 10%. Finally, we have expertise. The long grind to level 28 gives this particular St. Elmo plus 28% assault rifle damage. When we add all these weapon damage and assault rifle damage figures up, we come to 121k. We now have a robust foundation. Things can get much better from here, with multipliers from things such as talents, critical hits, damage to target out of cover, and other fabulous goodies in Division 2. We've covered a lot of ground, but now you have a robust mental model to ensure your character has a rock-solid foundation of power. It's not about chasing a single big, sexy stat. Instead, it's a combination of choices to have power that persists, giving you a stronger foundation and broader base to amplify. The right talents, along with things like damage to target out of cover or damage to armor, can then multiply that foundation's impact, delivering harder-hitting shots for deadlier results. I hope you found this module in the Build System series helpful. Please share the video and the channel to fellow agents looking to level up efficiently. I appreciate the massive support you and everyone have shown this effort, and I look forward to continuing this series with you. Until the next video, stay safe, stay strong, and and stay dangerous.